It just synergizes really well with this. It gives them a hero that's going to put some tower pressure, going to move early. Centaur is relatively stagnant in terms of the laning movements and all that kind of stuff, so I like their draft a lot better.
Also a hero with pointy horns. All 5 of their heroes have some sort of pointy horns of some kind, whether it's their ears,
I guarantee at least 100 people.
What would you call that draft
before you?
The
horny draft.
Pointy.
Thanks, Brian.
Horn.
Yeah, so I actually think that Gambit.
Going for.
Yeah, thanks, Brian. So I think Gambit they have a really solid forward-moving lineup where they can play around objectives, but the key thing is execution now. If the DK crosses the river, tries to hit that tier 1 alone, Puck Coil comes in, they collapse, they kill him, DK's game can get a bit awkward. So Gambit has the better entry into the game, but if they make a couple mistakes, then the scaling of NaVi just comes into full effect. You have Tidehunter, you have Puck, these are the best anti-aggression heroes, so it's kind of offense v defense, and it's can Gambit execute with their offense.
Ryan, fast prediction?
DK.
Okay. Fair enough.
Simple.
Nice and simple from Brian. Let's go ahead and check in with our commentators. We've got Moxie and Purge. They've been a great duo all week long. We're going to see them again.
That's very succinct coming out of Brian there. DK all the way, but I'm liking the draft coming out from the side here of NaVi with that negative armor strat. And I've yet to see a Luna, or at least cast a game with Luna that has been successful. What do you think, Purge?
Yeah, I think Luna's a really cool hero. She has a lot of stuff going for her, but you know, her ultimate, her loosened beams have felt a little bit weak lately. And from a carry potential, she just doesn't scale as well as some other carries because she doesn't have the ability to just blow heroes up by herself in a team fight in a late game. It's just more complicated. But great sieger. She does a lot of AoE damage. There's a lot of good things she has going for her. But I really like the minus armor strat. I think that's pretty cool. In the lane, level 1 Gush is -4 armor. Lil Shredder will do up to -5 armor plus the Blightstone. I'm sorry, he doesn't have a Blightstone, but still, it is good harass potential, especially once they get a Deso later on. With that said, B-Tune's already queued up a Battle Fairy, so
we may never
it's just supposed to look like a minus armor strat.
It's possible. It could also go back later on, pick up a Deso, but you know, at least that lane, right? That lane is going to be terrifying with the Snapfire and the Tidehunter for sure. But a lot of pressure resting over on the shoulders of this Luna. He's gonna have to be able to get that farm, and the rest of the team is just gonna have to try to make that space for her, because she is a bit fragile. It takes a while to come online.
Yeah, your raw HP is not super high for a while, and that you kind of feel like you need DK to protect yourself, otherwise people just burst you. And if they force fights where there's creeps around, then your ultimate just doesn't feel good. There's just a lot of ifs that Luna has to deal with that makes the life hard. But looks like she's going to start in a tri-lane. This is a great circumstance for Luna. Classically, when tri-lanes were more common, Luna was one of the best carries because of the fact that she could skill her aura at level 1, and it gives bonuses to 2 other heroes in addition to herself. So tri-lane versus tri-lane situations, Luna's pretty strong, so she should be completely fine in terms of getting off to a good start here with the Tide heading top.
The other thing, too, to keep in mind is the fact that if they do try to send too many heroes up to try to mess with this Luna, they have Elder Titan. Elder Titan, one of the better heroes in dealing with any sort of tri-lane situation, loves having more units to walk that spirit through, so NaVi has to be a little bit careful in their considerations with the laning, but it definitely feels like AS Monaco Gambit have a decent idea of how they want to work this laning stage, at the very least.
Yep, get the Luna ahead. Use that to start pressuring towers of Dragonite. Centaur being in the game is very strong for them. The more I watch, the more I think Centaur is very strong right now. He's picked almost every game, and once he finishes Vanguard, it feels like pretty much nothing can touch him unless you have like Maledict plus a lot of magic bursts. He's just not going to die, so he basically just gets to do whatever he wants. He bullies your carry out of their lane every single time, and then he goes to important towers, and he just like is so powerful and difficult to kill and takes so many heroes that enemy teams just ignore him basically and let him take your towers. So with that said, if Centaur gets a decent Vanguard at a normal time, and the Luna gets off to a good start, and they have Dragonite get a Blink Dagger at a reasonable time, we're going to see some crazy good tempo coming from AS Monaco Gambit.
I mean, what can they really hope to do, though, to really mess with the Centaur? Oh, yeah, Luna has not a great win right there. I didn't get to see the exact numbers, but was not looking too hot.
Best time to pressure him is before he gets Vanguard. So right now would be a decent time. We saw a game like that last night against Mind Control, where he had to jungle a little bit more than we normally would have expected out of the hero. But he still got Vanguard, and then he still recovered, and he still had super high net worth, so it's fine. But yeah, you'd have to like pressure him in lane or kill him a little bit here. But with Seneko being in the lane, it shouldn't be that hard for him. I'm not worried for him at all.
This is interesting that they have opted to go for a tri-lane down here with Seneko. just on the Elder Titan, the fact that, you know, I just literally said, you know, he really thrives in these situations, especially when you can have these camps over to the side that you can stack, get even more, you know, capability to just harass using your Astral Spirit. 38% in the DPC, 18%. Oof.
18 in DPC, yeah, it's not good. It's not looking good for Luna right now. The reason they rotated down the Oracle is because he's a hard counter to Elder Titan. You can dispel his Astral Spirit, effectively making him a level 1 hero that doesn't have any other benefits to him. So that's why I always want to fight transition right away. It would have made Snapfire a little bit too useless, and as a result, Snapfire will not rotate to top lane. So hypothetically, they can't swap anymore. Seneko already TP'd to the bot lane. So he can't counter this rotation even if Lion could shift. So this should be completely fine for NaVi. This is what they want.
All right, well, pretty standard here in the mid lane. A little bit of a lead here for the Dragon Knight. 9 and 3 currently CS, 6 and 2 on Iceberg. But of course, it is going to be very important that the first time that this Dragon Knight goes for the Dragon form, once he hits at level 6, that we see some sort of a rotation come out from the side of NaVi to respond to it.
We see actually nobody go for Water Runes coming from the supports, so that's going to give Iceberg free choice to pick which one he wants. He's able to, as a result, buy time to get his bottle first before he bottles it up. I guess both players do have bottle now, so no huge loss here. But yeah, the side lane's just pretty important apparently to stabilize at the moment.
Afterlife seems like he's having a perfectly fine time, as Seneko is forced to head back here. Does not have any regen other than the Ring of Regen, so it's going to just wander on back, and I'm sure teleport back into the lane.
Yeah, it could be a little expensive to do this, but he saves the tango basically. You would have to use all 3 charges just to get back up to full, so it wouldn't be worth it. And for now, it's just a Centaur anyways, so for now, it's not going to be a big deal. Give him a little space. Centaur's almost at ring of health.
Otherwise, it's been pretty... Oh gosh, I didn't realize.
A
I
prize.
forgot that that was a taunt for Luna. I remember the one where she like has the she spins the thing, right? She's got her glaive that she spins, and just I did not know that there is this. I forgot about this one with the cat. Yeah. Boy, that's annoying. And I love cats. This is oh dear, Valve.
Most taunts are pretty annoying, I gotta say. Once you hear more than like once, you're like, okay, that's enough. Please stop.
Yeah, I know a lot of people get triggered by the music with the Crystal Maiden one a lot. It's got like a little piccolo solo or something. Which one really grinds your gears, Purge?
I don't know. Maybe that SF one is, I'm a little softer to it nowadays, but there was a period of time where that one was spammed constantly in the mid lane. Pro players have ruined almost all taunts for me, frankly. Because they just press them constantly. Their boards are like, well, this is all easy lane stage stuff. A little pressure on Sapphire.
Yeah, they've definitely got a decent amount of damage. I don't think they quite have enough, though. You can see that Dream is considering it, but has those 2 points in the Lucent Beam. Might have been able to... It would have been very, very close. I'm not sure the exact math on it.
If the creep wave didn't block him, I think he would have gotten him probably, but close.
Which is interesting, because I figured that this lane, especially with all the negative armor that was going to be coming out of it, would be pretty scary, I think, for the Luna to approach, but definitely see more of the aggression coming out from the side of Gambit here.
I think it'd be scarier if he didn't have a hard stun, because if he does get gushed, Tidehunter will approach, and they have to do follow-up right clicks. That's really important, but the Sun's going to be able to lock that down. And Luna's got pretty fast boots here, and a Wraithband as well, so he's actually got pretty high armor. So really the vulnerable one is Lion. So as long as Lion is relatively careful in his positioning, he'll be all right.
I mean, Emergent has been incredibly careful with it. In fact, he's the one that's setting up most of these stuns as well, so... I think he'll be all right. And that being said, over here, Roger getting clicked down. Looks like they're going to be happy to take down the courier instead, because it is, of course, the Ring of Hell. And is he going to get killed here, too? Oh, the dream for Dream.
It really is. And at first, I was like, like, what the... He's going to get distracted by this courier, but killing a Ring of Health against the Tidehunter is super value.
Yes.
I believe that would have been the Ring of Health that would have eventually been turned into a hood to help make Tidehunter really tanky. So breaking that up for a while is going to be a nice advantage.
Like we said, we do have a rotation over to the mid lane. The Dragon form has been used. Got the bottle service coming out from Roger. I'm not sure how much they can actually do here, though, with just the 2 of them. I think they would have needed maybe +1, tried to push him off of the tower. But he is taking advantage of this Cardi wave, of course.
Yeah, Iceberg just wants to clear the creep wave here, but he's being careful with his nuke just in case there's a chance to get a kill. And so pretty darn good damage with the first catapult here. Down to 500 HP on the tier 1 tower. It's great.
pretty calm in the bottom lane. Haven't seen anything too wild. Like you said, being able to purge off things in the bottom lane makes it very, very valuable to have the Oracle over there. But no one. Positioning, grabs himself up the rune. Over here on Iceberg, it's the Arcane. It's going to be poking away here on Senego. Gonna go for the Dream Coil as well.
Silence.
Looking for the stop. Nice silence though from Iceberg, waiting patiently. It is a little telegraph's gonna just poke forward here. Needs another click or two, and down goes Senego.
That's
Not a
for your
huge net worth
impertinence.
advantage from that kill, but a kill's a kill. And with the Arcane Rune, his Dream Coil is going to be off cooldown a long time. And frankly, if they weren't going to gank the Dragonite anyways, it's not a big deal to put Dream Coil on cooldown there. Like what Iceberg did there with that kill. Lost his bounty, but hey, punish enemy team.
You get the bottle service yet again here for no one. It's like a couple pings coming out. They want to make some plays over here on Roger, so they'll open up. They've got a nice Earth Spike, the Hex, and Dream just running out and is going to respect Ramses, though. We'll back off a little bit. It is his birthday, after all.
Hey, that kind of pressure into Snapfire is really effective. Roger does not have Tranquil Boots yet, so this is going to make him feel like he won't be able to fight to the death anymore. So small trades like that are excellent.
Hope for Dire's
second Dragonite ulti.
tower.
Yeah, and the pressure's on this tower. It's not going to be lasting for very long. I don't think they're going to be able to do much of anything here to no one. But you see the wraparound here coming out from Merchant. The teleports are coming out. Nice cookie coming out from Roger. As they go and use the Stampede, they'll be able to stun up the puck. Turning right back around again. The Dream Coil. Perhaps the Dragonite has gone a little bit too far here. As they'll also join in, and down will go the Dragonite. But looks like the tower was taken down in the process.
Yep, Senego moved forward and punched it. Oracle tried to deny it, but Oracle's crappy base damage was not enough. But ultimately, what saved that fight was the cookie from Roger. Incredible play there. If that cookie didn't come at that moment, there would have been a Dragon Stun follow-up. Lion sensing some danger through Earth Spike out. Both of those two basically were less effective or missed, and as a result, Puck gets out of danger. I thought he was dead for sure when that Hex came, but good cookie saves him.
It's not often that we get to call a cookie incredible here, so...
Yeah, but that
it did. It absolutely saved him. Yeah. This is looking scary for Dream. Smoke immediately breaking the route into place. Roger trying to get close enough for the cookie, but this time not going to be able to bridge that gap as Immersion also makes his way back up. And they did smoke underneath a ward earlier, so even though, you know, Dream still was a little bit forward, they probably were expecting something to happen, so backed off.
Yep. It would have been a hard kill anyways. Dream's got boots, Tidehunter does not, so his ability to like gap close and get damage on his opponent was pretty unlikely, so it would have been a dangerous Ravage, a low chance of succeeding. So.
Oof. These stacks are beautiful over here.
Thanks, yeah.
That is going to be...
Okay, and Luna went for 2 points in Lucent Beam to lane. A little bit more than we normally see, but still effective, and now 2 points back for Glaives. So he should be able to clear waves decently here. Some damage into Tide. He's got a hood, but...
No, I mean, you've got a double damage on no one. You've got so much damage here. I don't think you survive this. Dream will find himself another kill, and the pressure is on this top tower.
And so with DK being here, he can pressure the tower. Luna can help if he wants to, but he's also got Mask of Madness finished. It's flying out right now. And now the Ocean Heart, so he's going to be really happy for jungling purposes here. Sitting... waiting to come forward. Just going to clear the wave most likely, and we'll see if they stick around and finish this tower.
Looks like they're going to try to make a play. Afterlife, the cookie hop. They've got the little shredder, the root into play. Stomp does come out, but he's very tanky, and you just can't run away from this. He finds the kill on Roger, but does eventually get slain by Iceberg.
Centaur is balanced, guys. It only took 4 heroes to kill him, and they still lost 1. I suppose he was taking, I guess you might take return damage from Bull Shredder, in which case that's kind of a lot, but that was a lot of effort just to kill 1 guy, but they got him.
Yeah, but what percentage of this is that Centaur is too strong and that Vanguard is very strong?
It's almost always when something becomes overpowered in Dota, it's because there's multiple layers, so it's both for sure.
But like what percent, like which one is stronger than the other? I guess
you know what, Moxie, I just didn't do the math before the cast. It's hard for me to estimate right now.
You literally had 1 job, dude. One job. You're not even here, you slacker.
That's true. That's true.
Oh
Tower damage got reduced, so Vanguard damage blocks more. There's it's the fact that Centaur's gotten buffed in other ways. The Stampede cooldown got reduced by 20 seconds, which is massive. So just a mix of everything.
No, he definitely has been gaining in popularity. It seems that he and Beastmaster are showing up in almost every draft. Either they are being banned or picked up, so perhaps something to look at, Mr. Ice Frog. But this Luna Dream very happy, just farming up these stacks. Look at that net worth, too. Keeps on creeping up higher and higher. It's gonna have that Yasha online very, very shortly.
Yeah, this is pretty good, actually. Really good farm speed. And he's actually gotten a lot more Lucent Beam than we normally expect out of Lunas at this phase. Not going for the max Lunar Blessing build. Seems like everyone has very different ideas about what the best skill build is for carry Luna. And I think I like this one a little bit better. I think not getting any Lucent Beam at all is a bit of a mistake at times. But yeah, he's going to have Eclipse more viably ready in an earlier phase than we've seen with some other carries.
Well, definitely feels like there's a lot of fighting early, but Silence gets tossed out again. Centaur, they end up using 2 ultimates, and they still have not managed to kill him. So, yeah, I would say that this hero seems very powerful indeed.
Level 10, and he's got almost 2,000 HP. And yeah, he's got a Vanguard and a Hood, but yeah, it's kind of an insane bonkers amount of survivability there. That's like the easiest Dream Coil break I've ever seen. Like, oh, 300 extra damage? Fine. Keep running.
God, I remember there was an ESL song like a while back that was just all about running, and that's the first thing that comes to mind now whenever you say that. That was a missed opportunity. They could have tried to work that in. Oh,
Blessings upon a loyal warrior.
Luna just doing Luna things though, has that Yash completed, and is going to be going for the BKB as the next item. A lot of neutrals, 33% and 33% of the lane creeps as well. Look at Afterlife, he's just not afraid here. He can tank the tower, he's got the rest of the team standing behind, no one, pops the dragon form, and Roger's going to be careful here.
Denied.
Blink completed.
Yeah, they can't stop this. I mean, Afterlife's tanking it on purpose. He's regenerating 25 HP. Great to not that Roger, though.
Had to use the little shredder, though, to do it.
I mean, it's fine. Oh, 70 mana, it's gone. They weren't going to fight anyway, so...
Efficiency purge.
Are scanning for enemies.
He's going to regen it back. It'll be no problem at all. And that's Dragonite ulti half gone now. They're going to get tempo like this, but what you're doing is just trying to buy time for PA to get farmed. And this is one of the downsides of the Battle Fury build, is that the tempo has gone up a lot in this last patch, and if you buy a farming item like this, your impact in team fights is going to feel less. And you know, sometimes that's not going to matter. You'll still win fights without it, or maybe with PA just not being there. But he needs to get his next big items for sure. And the timing for Luna's just probably going to be faster, but we'll see, because BKB is just being worked on now for Luna.
I mean, that definitely becomes the issue when you're up against something like a Luna, and the fact that, you know, you can build a Luna very differently depending on how you'd like to do it, but she is just naturally going to be able to farm faster, and the PA, I'm not sure, you know, we talk about the fact that, you know, she could have gone for the Desolator, she could have gone, obviously, you know, she's got the Battle Fury, but with the timings coming out from NaVi too, is it better to have the Battle Fury over than trying to be overly aggressive and putting all your eggs in this early basket?
I mean, I wouldn't say they're not putting all their eggs in the early basket with the Battle Fury, though. I mean, a lot of their other heroes are very strong right now, absolutely. And part of that purpose was just to make their team fights easier and to make sure that they could slow down the towers being taken a bit. And they've been semi-successful at that. But Luna is still the most farmed hero. There still is a net worth advantage on the side of the Radiant, so it's not perfect for them. But PA just like PA is a better ultra late game carry than a Luna is almost always. Just because once you get BKB and like Abyssal Blade, she's gonna jump on one support and she's gonna kill them really, really fast, and those supports aren't gonna be able to defend themselves often. Luna can't really do that. She has to like walk in, pop her ultimate, start right clicking, and hopefully people die, kind of. She needs to be able to,
make her sound so underwhelming. Did you break up with Luna at some point, Burge? You're just so disparaging.
It's the reality of Luna in the late game. She's about getting advantage and then pressuring towers and making it scary for the enemy team to ravage into her because she's got BKB. That's the value of Luna. It is not like taking an even team fight and like just picking off heroes. But killing enemy heroes at the start of the fight is huge.
Ooh, smoke on smoke action. All right, the jump immediately over on Luna. She's trying to just dodge Roger knows that she's probably not going to survive this, so will fall, but they'll find the kill and always want to fly over in the back lines. No one is just chasing after Roger here, who has already used that cookie, so he is slowly just getting chipped down. And oh, look at that, that finger from downtown over there, my goodness.
That slow creep screwed him, and he walked right past it at aggro. That's 25% slow. Gave him time to catch up.
Radiant are scanning for enemies.
But yep, Luna died instantly. Obviously,
Iceberg?
It was a grab, but
Merchant has found himself a puck here hiding in the side, but I'm pretty sure he should be absolutely fine. Earth Splitter does get used though, so get the silence. No one on the hunt, searching for this puck. They do have the Astral Spirit. It's going to try to teleport away. I don't think they're going to be able to cancel in time.
Radiant should look to their
really
middle
close a couple
tower.
times actually. Nice that they're able to get there so fast, but no kill, not a big deal. With Blink Dagger up on Dragonite, he's going to be sitting great, very ready to be the first initiator or the follow-up to Line. These two heroes, Line and Dragonite, just make the rest of the game really dangerous for NaVi, because if they ever do get caught split pushing, they're going to be stunned for like 5 to 7 seconds kind of a thing. It's not going to be a fun time.
I mean, we've seen the power of, you know, a Dragonite and a Centaur actually in one of the Alliance games. I think it was Alliance versus OG, where Limp was playing the Dragonite. He'd get an opening, he'd find that Dragon Tail, and there would someone be immediately running in to try to help him. Then just the stomps coming out from S4 immediately were able to, you know, counter-initiate, and they took great fights off of it. So that is something definitely NaVi has to be very aware of, especially because they just picked up the Blink Dagger on the Centaur as well now.
Yep, that's definitely the best thing about the late game draft for AS Monaco Gambit, is that all of the heroes playing around Luna can get pickoffs, can amplify each other, and you know, secure a lot of advantage if they do get those pickoffs in other ways. It's just Luna will be following up, not so much like the guy that can do it himself. Map control and initiations is really the name of the game from here on out.
Illusion!
Well, the PA is, of course, catching up, though, in terms of net worth. It's a 9.4k over on Luna, 8.4 over on PA, so the Battle Fury is helping out, and you have a Mithril hammer picked up over on the PA. Not sure if she's going for the Deso first or the BKB. Lots Power Ranger TPs coming out immediately as Roger gets spotted here by no one. Rest of the team, they've got this locked down for sure. Roger's not able to do anything but just sit there and die.
Yeah, might seem like a little bit of overkill, but they don't know how many team enemies are going to be there, and they're trying to force the issue with their gold advantage. And with Phantom Assassin running around, with Blur pretty much constantly on, it's difficult to find PA and limit his farm. So he just keeps hitting creeps and finishes Battle Fury, and that's going to give a really good timing window for NaVi, especially with the Solar Crest finish now on Tidehunter. So between Ravage and Solar Crest on the PA, there's going to be a lot of damage coming. Which item he's buying? He is going BKB first to be safe. Pretty needed. If he doesn't have BKB and he runs in and there's an Eclipse and any disable, he's just going to die, and it's going to make his hero feel not valuable. With that said, now his problem is that his damage is not that incredible, so like his damage impact will not be as obvious, but he'll get there eventually.
I think the thing that worries me right now is if you take a look at what AS Monaco Gambit have online for initiation, you have a blink on Immersion, you have a blink over on the Centaur, and you have a blink on Dragon Knight. So if that PA steps even the slightest bit out of line, they have immediate just blink initiation to go and just hold her in place, and then all of a sudden you're missing all your physical damage for the most part.
Yeah, and then getting chain stun from full to nothing is the scariest thing for PA, absolutely. But the whole purpose is reading the map and predicting where you think your opponents are going to be, and just not being there with your PA. You want to be, if you're going in first, you want to be jumping on a support or something like that instead. So, B-Tune is a very, very high-ranked player. He is very talented, so I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't get picked off out of position too often.
Dire should look to their top tower.
You can see the way that NaVi is playing too. They're trying to kind of stay in the general vicinity of one another, so in case someone does get jumped, they can immediately respond. Except for, you know, Ramsey's here, but of course he is a Tidehunter. He definitely is chonky, and the rest of the team is now making their way over. BKB is completed over on Phantom Assassin. We also have the BKB completed on Luna. So this could be a big reveal for both teams here as Ramses just swims on over, starts with the Gush. V-Tune is nearby. Dagger's going to get tossed out. They're trying to bait a little bit here. Lunar hit down over onto Ramses with the little mini stun. Will slow them down, and it feels like Gambit don't really want to take this fight. They sense something's up. No one's showing in any of these lanes.
Yep, they know their opponents are in the area. They got the tier 2 tower already. They don't want to waste BKB. Very safe for Dream to not use it. Well, not really safe. It was the right choice, but you know they wanted to get him to force BKB just to waste it. That way they could force a good fight. But yeah, net worth advantage from earlier is still about there. It's all about the initiation. And with Ramses in the front, he's very difficult to kill. He's got tons of armor. He's got a hood. He could die to magic damage. That's maybe the most vulnerable thing, but he's going to get Ravage off if he does. So for now, just posturing and trying to break smokes and looking for the right initiation while V-Tune farms.
Behold!
3K net worth lead at around 20 minutes in here for AS Monaco Gambit. Ramses very much posturing himself very forward, hoping that they, you know, they get impatient, maybe take that bait, but it doesn't look like they're going to be doing that over on the side of the Radiant. Being very, very patient, just continuing to play around the Luna, and both teams kind of mirroring each other's movements.
Yep, just this cliff ward is really important right now by the Oracle, just for controlling the jungle down here. It's the one that I see contested the most right now. This one and the opposite one near Roshan feels like the two big ward spots. So if they just keep ward vision down here, it should make it really easy for V-Tune to keep playing in this area. Keeps hitting creeps, keeps pressuring towards the tier 2 tower, which is going to force AS Monaco Gambit to potentially react themselves. But both jungles a little bit scary.
God, every time I hear this Luna use her taunt, it just makes me think of Sir Action Slacks. It sounds like he's the one making the meowing noise.
Very similar tone, yes.
I know, right?
I can see why you're confused, yeah.
Bottom lane, though, Afterlife hopping forward. They're going to miss that Earth Spike on the Oracle here, but they're not going to miss the finger. So that's another finger stack going over for the Lion. And will force the side of NaVi a bit back here as they do smoke up, hoping to catch stragglers, hoping to find anyone. And again, it is just Ramses, but I guess they've decided they've had enough of his just taunting around, and he's so tanky as all of the team having to show up for the most part here. They get the stop, the sleep, they hit everything on Ramses, and eventually no one will get the kill.
A lot, but they got him. That's with Elder Titan in melee range, by the way, so he was losing almost all of his base armor and base magic resistance, and he still tanked a lot of damage. Having Solar Crest, Dragon Scale Phase, whose Soul Ring really helps out a lot, and that's it. But they finally get a big kickoff. He didn't want to Ravage, it wasn't going to save his life anyways, and they finally get an opportunity to take Roche without having to worry. But their opponent's showing up.
Yeah, that is the one hero on the side of the enemy team that you don't want wandering over to that Roche pit, so we'll happily clean up this Roshan, get some immortality online, and probably go for another objective. Immortality is completed for Buck 2.
And this is where Luna wants to be. Your match net worth with the enemy carry. You've got an Aegis now. She's finished Sanj and Yasha, so the Suns that do affect her aren't going to last very long, nor are many of the disables. And then you've also got BKB to back up. Pupil's Gift, great item for any agility hero too, so he's just like abnormally tanky at this position and difficult to kill. Kind of curious to see if he plays with the Shard later on. I know it's been talked about as popular and valuable, and he won lots of Lucent Beam cooldowns, so I assume he's going to get it later. It does the 2 attacks off of the Lucent Beam target, so it helps you, even with a right-click build, accelerate. Puts him in a good position. Vessel's up on V-Tune, so this would be a decent time for NaVi to fight.
Yeah, well, they're going to initiate again on Ramsey. The follow-up, though, from Iceberg is they just absolutely blow up Immersion as all of their ultimates just getting tossed out over here. So not looking great. The buyback now from the Lion. No one had jumped into the backlines. They still have that Lincoln's online. And the Luna is just ticking down with all this damage over on the side. Cookie Hop going forward is going to be enough to save all. Yes, it is. He's going to be fine. They go right back in. That Aegis will indeed get popped. No one, though, still alive, still chasing after them here. Has his attention now over here on that Snapfire. Afterlife will follow up. The Lucent Beam from Dream will clean up. But they did force a buyback out of Immersion during all of that. And again, you know, jumping on the Tidehunter.
Yeah, and it was multifaceted. They disabled the Tidehunter at first. They popped BKB to protect against the Ravage. They used Eclipse, but very interestingly, the Oracle used Fate's Edict on the Tidehunter ahead of time. He anticipated the Eclipse and ended up eating a bunch of the beams and just made Tidehunter feel not that really tanky actually. Way more than you would have expected, because the max beams you get per unit is 5. So those first like 3 or 4 got eaten up by Tide at 0 damage. So the Eclipse just really didn't feel good. Again, that's the biggest issue that's hurting Luna as a carry right now. Eclipse just feels like it has a lot of solutions to it these days.
Iceberg just playing around a little bit, gets a snipe on the courier. Yeah, look at this. It just goes from 0 to 60 so fast. That Dream Coil, the Ravage.
There's the Fate's Edict. 3, 4, 5. 5 beams hit him while he was completely magic immune. Insane. Really good usage there by the Oracle to protect. Without having to use his ulti.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Initiation again. Cookie out, not going to save them as Immersion gets another stack. They drop the splitter as they find the pick off over on Immersion, and the jump forward here from Afterlife is able to take down Iceberg. Now they're still chasing after Ramses as BKBs were popped over here on the side of no one, and of course V-Tune, who just wants to get out. They don't have any way to cancel it, but this is not looking great now for Roger and Ramses as they are left behind, and Roger just a little bit too squishy. So eventually, are they going to just oh no, he's got the Glimmer Cape. He's actually going to survive, but it's not looking as promising for Ramses, although they're using everything in the kitchen sink to try to take him down. But look at this boy. He is so tanky. They'll even go and just use the Oracle ultimate to try to keep him alive, and perhaps no one has gone just a bit too far because they will be able to take him out. And they're going to try to re-engage here. Ravage, of course, going to be up in a couple seconds. Good stop here from Afterlife. Okay, that time Ramses is not going to be protected as he does get blown up by the Eclipse. They're still thinking about going in though. V-Tune making his way forward, sees the Nako, has that Deso online. Lucent Beam will buy a little bit more time, so Nako trying to teleport out. He is going to get rooted into place, and who's going to get nuked down by Always Want to Fly.
Really well done with the Fortune Sun anticipating this. Puts on his ally, he gets the easy route as a result, and not terrible. They do lose the Dragonite. They got a little bit too overeager, thinking they were finally going to be able to kill the Tide, but takes a lot of damage to pick him up.
Warrior.
Now Blur Evasion picked up by PA. This is going to make V-Tune, who's already very difficult to kill, almost impossible to kill. 80% evasion is what he's rocking just passively right now. They do have a lot of magic damage, so they can kill him, but it's going to have to be when BKB is on cooldown is the only window that they're going to have here to deal with V-Tune. So as long as V-Tune doesn't make any major mistakes, or as the rest of his team doesn't get completely wiped in a one-sided fashion, then PA is going to have a really nice window where pretty much nobody can do much other than stun him and deal with other heroes instead.
Iceberg does have a double damage bottled up, so I'm sure he's eager for the next fight, although he does have that Ags queued up. They do have a problem with all the BKBs coming out from the side of Gambit. But looks like they're thinking about maybe doing some sweeping motion here. Ramses does have the Ravage up again. Asher gets picked up by V-Tune. I'll drop a sentry, try to get a little vision. They have the scan, they know exactly where they're headed. But do they do anything?
It's difficult to fight past this mid-river point. Your opponents stand on their high ground, you stand over here on the high ground in your jungle, and you got to be careful as you approach these situations. But the Basher is going to be a really big deal. Using that, who picked up the Orb of Corrosion? Was that?
Looks.
Is that Radiant or Dire? Let's see.
Well, no one's got it equipped at the moment, so.
It's Radiant, so that's good for AS Monaco Gambit. You do not want a PA to have that item if possible. It just increases his damage so much. He does have Mindbreaker instead, which is also really good actually in these circumstances. You can throw out a Stifling Dagger and get a 2-second silence just about. And considering he's also got Basher, that means that Lion is shaking in his boots right now. If he gets initiated on at all by PA, there's a really good chance that you get a kill even without having to pop BKB.
Some movement over here in the mid lane. Looks like they'll initiate on the Snapfire. Via Stampede that gets used. The jump forward from Afterlife is going to the double edge. It buys just a little bit more time thanks to the Oracle, but over on the back line, they find Always Want to Fly. So there's not going to be an Oracle available for this fight. So it looks like the rest of NaVi is on the back foot.
Okay.
Smoke comes out from the side of Gambit, maybe hoping to catch any sort of stragglers. See, the supports are trying to push out over here in the middle lane as the rest of them get into position. They will see Ramses. He's going to pop the smoke on no one. Again, not really the target that they're hoping for, so they might try to comb through the jungle here. See if they can grab anyone else. But they might just have to settle for Ramses again here. Yeah, the Dragon Tail will come out. And you can see V-Tune just tossing out the dagger. Look at that damage over on Dragon Knight.
Oof. Pretty good. Almost nothing they can do to the Tide. Although they're building towards it, the Shadow Blade pickup that we saw in Dragon Knight, a little bit atypical, but the whole purpose is he can build into Silver Edge and get a break off. Here's that initiation on Snapfire. Once again, full magic resistance on him is why it took so long for him to die here with these right clicks. But DK also hit the Oracle. Hitting the back line is a great thing to do if the guy you first initiate on is busy.
Gather round,
in a live game, they're going to find Centaur.
And they will indeed. He snaps that coil, and there's a lot of negative armor coming out as Roger will be able to get his revenge here on Afterlife.
That's pretty YOLO, actually. I mean, they didn't have very good vision in the area, and he goes to take the shrine, just really expecting the enemy team to be somewhere else on the map, and they ran right at him, getting that kill. 50 seconds now, where AS Monaco Gambit's not going to want to engage. Roshan
Radiant's middle tower is under
probably
attack.
not going to be up in time
Radiant
for them to
structures
get
are
it, but
fortified.
they'll pressure the tier 2 tower with this kill advantage that they got. Every kill matters so much right now, feels like.
You just want to keep that tempo up. You don't want to have a moment where you're just sitting back for too long, so... I don't think they're going to engage without the center, but I could be wrong. Dream is very far forward here, a little bit scary considering, but feeling confident.
Just an extra tower kill, that'll make it easier to go high ground when
Regeneration.
when it comes to it. And frankly, with that tower being gone, it's a lot easier for NaVi to control the tri-camp area. They can move from each position to the other without having to worry about smokes breaking and stuff like that. But Gambit on the map again, moving out. Luna trying to finish an MKB, but still about 1,500 gold away. She finishes that, she will finally be the person that can deal with the PA.
Snapfire also picking up a gem as well, probably to help get just some more, you know, map control, try to take down any sort of vision, and also try to spot when people are coming forward, like that Dragon Knight, for example, who again is working towards the Silver Edge, so.
I mean, the vision's so good on NaVi, they can see almost everything.
Vision.
See if they decide to jump. They've got Blink Dagger on Tide, they could Blink Ravage. Want to.
Do like the way that Ramses is playing very, very forward. Very difficult to take him out at this time. So every time it seems that they go for a smoke, they usually run into Ramses first, it seems. And he's more than happy to soak up a lot of that damage.
Yep, the value of the tanky offlane hero. Buy all these items and break the smokes and make everyone happy on your team. Lion gets the ever important finger kill health talent. Only got 4 finger kills, so it's not that good here. It's fine. He'll take the extra HP. Maybe that will, you know, if PA sneezes on him while attacking him, that could be the difference of him staying alive.
That was so unimpressed dad of you. He's like, only has 4 finger kills. Let's not get too crazy about this. Poor Lion. You know, he's doing the best he can. This is a hard game.
Yeah.
There is a PA that can just...
His KD is great. It's just, you know, there's limited amounts of kills.
It's great. It's fine. Cool. Cool beans.
BKB picked up by DK. Very close to the Silver Edge, about 1,000 or so. That'll be possibly a big game changer, because then it's going to completely change how NaVi can play the team fights. Tidehunter can sit in the front, but the problem is that he's going to get broken. Therefore, Kraken Shell will stop working, and therefore stuns will actually become valuable against him again. So if they can find him when he's out of position, they can break him and chain stun him. They can just kill Tide at the start of the fight. This is going to completely change the dynamics of how NaVi can stand around engagements. They're going to need sentries to protect Tide in addition to however their position.
Is Snapfire...
And then maybe Oracle's going to have to save him instead, which isn't what they want.
Yeah. Is Snapfire the one who's holding the gem currently for NaVi?
Nobody's holding the gem for NaVi right now, actually.
Okay, that's strange. No, Iceberg has it.
Puck.
Yeah. Okay, that's the best carry for that, because I was about to say, if it's Roger holding that, that's really scary, because he has been jumped on multiple times and just erased from the team fight fairly early on. So I like the fact that Iceberg's going to be holding on to it. Definitely a lot harder to get your hands on that puck.
Roche is up, so both teams are going to be trying to play around it here. They're going to spot
Silver Edge completed now.
Ward. Okay, there we go. Ward killed now. Tide's got to be careful.
Yeah, look at no one. Look at him. He's being so patient. Gem gets picked up on the Elder Titan as well. It's a vision game here. Ramses. Oh, there's the break. They'll open up. Follow up with a nice Earth Spike. And again, he's just so tanky. They get the stomp off. They also get the Earth Splitter, but...
Yeah, Fate Eater came out instantly to protect him from any magic damage.
Another break again. They want to go in on this, though. It's just the battle of the tanky boys right now. All right, they'll finally go and they'll use the Oracle ulti, because they use the BK... Or not the BKB. What did they use there?
did use BKB and DK,
He
yeah.
did use the BKB. Oh gosh.
Yeah, but Oracle ulti on cooldown for 80 seconds. This is an okay window. You could also argue there's a little timer where BKB comes back up, but they're looking for the fight. They've got MKB ready. They don't have Satanic just yet, but
All right, there it is. They follow up. They had a beautiful Dream Core, but they've also got the Eclipse coming out from Dream now as V2 and Dream just trying to fight each other, and they're not really finding success. Oh, the Ravage just barely clipping two of them. The Cookie Hop forward. They do manage to take down Dream. Ash coming out as well over onto Afterlife. He tries to get the stomp, but it's not enough to save his life as the gem does indeed get just picked up again over here as Iceberg fell during all of that.
huge plays by NaVi. I mean, Always on a Fly just made that so difficult for AS Monaco Gambit. Despite them breaking the Tidehunter, every single time that he got gone on, they slapped Fate's Edict down. And then now there's just no magic damage follow-up. Here's the second break that we see. Instant Fate's Edict is going to make all this extra damage weaker. Puck gets a great silence, and V2 dives the DK, knowing he doesn't have BKB. Once that kill happens, we get to see Dream and the PA fight to the death, more or less, but V2 gets cold feet, knowing his BKB's done. This Cookie was so good. Gives them the follow-up Ravage after the first stun, and they get to clean up the important heroes on the backline. But I think that fight was a really good example of like both carries, the PA and the Luna, having the ideal items, and just one of them is stronger. PA just looked more valuable there in that head-to-head fight, especially with the Scotty pickup that V2 has grabbed. It's going to limit all of the nice lifesteal that Luna's hoping to have when she picks up her Satanic and 25 talent later on.
I just, you know, it's interesting to see the different ways that people have been building Luna currently, but I just have yet to see it really impress or look good.
Yeah. It's a hero that I like too, and I want her to feel to be valuable, but she has issues right now for sure. And it doesn't help that the talents got changed recently. She lost her cast range talent in the big cast range apocalypse that happened in the last patch. She used to have a 350 cast range talent, so some of her ability to like affect team fights without putting herself in danger just got removed. So even though Lucent Beam Stun lasts longer, which is kind of cool, it just doesn't quite feel as valuable, and it also took away her viability as a support. So while she is still being used because teams want up-tempo carries, we're probably gonna have to start seeing some buffs to Luna, or people are just gonna stop picking her because they realize they lose too often with her. So we'll see. For now, maybe she can still pull out the win. She has farm goal, but now there's a 11k net worth deficit in Navi's advantage, so it's just getting worse for AS Monaco Gambit.
Is it a situation where you could possibly build her a little bit differently and maybe have more?
I don't think so. Unless you try to do like Ags or something like that, to do like that hybrid cheese. You could argue maybe she should be using her shard potentially, but it's a lot of net worth, and if she buys her shard, then you know, it's going to delay her ability to fight PA to the death.
Right.
This is not the game to do that. You need to make sure that you can remain competitive against PA.
All right, well, V2 has that Aegis online and is shoving out the wave here bottom. It looks like they're thinking about going high ground here. Ninja Gear gets found by Luna. In the meanwhile, nice, yeah. Definitely something nice for her. Protect her a little bit. Lotus Orb is placed over onto V2. It's rooted into place, though, as all the other teams... Oh, my goodness. All right. You know, we talked about Centaur looking tanky, but he doesn't look tanky at all when that comes down. Obviously, the stomp, the Earth Spike. Dream Coil gets used over on the Luna. She's being held off to the side as the jump forward over here from V2. Just leashed up, and there's a decent amount of damage, but they've got the Oracle to just keep him alive and healthy. The Ravage comes out. Dream goes down, but they're going to buy back these Mortal Kisses, just landing right somewhere. Oh, it's a snake. So they jump into the back line, though. They find always want to fly. The Cookie up forward. Oh, my goodness. No one is just ripped to shreds. And now V2 is just running over here, over at the Luna, over at the line. It's a good sleep. It's a good stomp. But can they do anything else beyond this? They bought back on so many heroes, and they're just losing them. The Aegis finally goes down, but then so does Dream. Ramsey's just running at him with their face. The Cookie hop forward, just a little bit too far forward over here. Not going to be able to go land on no one, but look at V2. Look at these daggers. Look at this damage, this negative armor. The GG gets called. And NaVi looking very, very strong here. And unfortunately, the Luna still not finding success here.
Victory.
That was great success for PA.